Welcome everyone to our last event before the summer. So we break for August, and so really excited to see you all here today. We've got a number online as well, so welcome to those people online. Uh, First, I'd like to say that it's with gratitude and respect that we acknowledge that we're gathered here today on the traditional unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. We wouldn't be here today and able to put on this great event without our amazing sponsors. So we really do appreciate all of our sponsors handpicked to support not just us, but all of the companies and investors that come to Vantec as well. A special shout out to BCIT. We're in their beautiful space here today, the Tech Collider downtown, and so really appreciate BCIT not only for the space, but also the amazing volunteers that help make this a smooth operation. So thank you to all of the volunteers today as well. We are also partnered with NRC IRAP. They help us put on some of the supporting things that we do with the companies in preparation for the presentations today. So we have a pre-screening, we have some workshops, so really do appreciate the support of the National Research Assistance Program. Keiretsu is another partner of ours. They kind of like the big brother, big sibling of Vantec. We see them as a little bit later stage, Seed Plus, Series A. So a number of the companies that pitch at Vantec will often go on to present at Keiretsu as well. If you'd like a introduction to them, I'd be more than happy to make that. And a little bit about Vantec. For those of you who are here for the first time, looking to learn what we do, who we are, and the benefits of potentially becoming a Vantec member, we are a community and we host 11 pitch events a year. So like I said, we take August off, and we have over 100 companies that present each year at Vantec. You also have an opportunity to connect in person with angel investors and promote your own programs and events and those sorts of things. We also have a great summer social, and so you get access to come to that summer social as well as a Vantec member. Dealum is the system that we use to track all of the company information, and so you can look at all of that in the lead up to this event. Make sure you know which companies you're particularly interested in. You can also reach out to the companies through Dealum. You have access to their pitch deck, sometimes videos, a lot of information that I've actually sort of worked through and chosen those questions specifically to help our due diligence at What If Capital, hoping that that also helps you as well with your due diligence. We have a member referral program. We sent out an email about this, so I just remind everyone that the way it works, if you have a new member join, then you'll receive a $100 discount on next year's membership fees. So if you are an in-person member and you bring 6 members and they join Vantec, you are now getting a free membership to Vantec. So great way to grow the community, have more investors in the room looking at the great companies that present, and a great way to get a discount on your membership. So as far as the community announcements go, we wanted to kind of streamline things. We made a few changes to give the companies a little bit more time to present each month. And so we will skip out on sort of the making these announcements here. But we do have a newsletter that we send out usually the second week of every month, second or third week, and that has a whole lot of announcements about the sort of things happening in our community, in our ecosystem, that we want to highlight because we think are valuable to you as members, investors, also to entrepreneurs, and to pass along to those in your network as well. The Startup Visa program is a part of Vantec as well, and they have a meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. And Jackson, do you want to say a couple words?
Thank you, Aaron. Yes, we have our Startup Visa preview event. Our members have scoured the whole globe to find the greatest next startup startup companies that we'd like to bring into Canada, so that they would be part of the Vantec Angel Flow network and ultimately benefit the local BC Angel local ecosystem here. So if you're interested and you're a full Vantec member, you should expect an email later tonight to give you the instructions to register on Zoom. It will be held tomorrow on Zoom at 9 a.m. But if you are interested in attending and you have difficulties registering and whatnot, you can reach out to me or send an email to suv@vantec.ca, and hope to see everyone there. Thank you.
Thanks so much for that, Jackson. All right. So Let's get right into the presentations for this afternoon. So we have 11 companies pitching today. We've got 7 90-second pitches. We've got 4 5-minute pitches. With the 90-second pitches, we are doing what we did last week or last month, and we're giving each one up to a minute to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about their background and why they started the business that they're presenting today. Then we'll get into the 90 seconds. And with the 5-minute presenters, we have sponsors that are introducing the companies that are presenting 5 minutes. And I think we have all of the presenters in the room, or sorry, all of the sponsors in the room. I may be missing 1 or 2. Okay, Udi's on the way. Great. All right. So you should have received a paper copy for the interest card. On here, please do vote for the top 90-second presenter that you really liked today, and they will be invited back to do a 5-minute pitch in the future. If you would like to express interest, we can make that connection to any one of the companies. And if you would like to express interest in being a member sponsor, we'll have that conversation with you afterwards, and we can talk about what's entailed in that. Really, when it comes to the sponsorship, it's about introducing the company, letting everyone know sort of why you like them. You could either already be an investor in the company, or you could just be looking to dive into due diligence with them, and looking for others to join you in that due diligence or to co-invest alongside you. And we also, if we get enough interest in doing a member-only discussion, which is also something you can select on that for 5-minute presenters, we'll arrange a member-only online discussion where we'll get together and we'll put our heads together and discuss the company. So you have that paper copy. You can also use this to express your interest here as well. So I will keep that up for just a moment. And I don't see any phones out, so I'm going to go back here. And I'm going to introduce our first presenter to come up here. So Brian Statham from Lifebooster. So Brian, I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, what brought you to starting Lifebooster.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Brian Statham, CEO and co-founder of Lifebooster. Yeah, so my background's in biomedical sciences. I've worked in operational health and safety and digitized health and safety for about 20 years now. Yeah, really what got me started in Lifebooster is I've had too many friends and family members who have suffered serious workplace injuries, breaking their backs doing patient handling in hospitals, falling into hot tar and burning off half of their bodies, to breaking their backs and getting addicted to opiates and dying actually down in East Side Vancouver here, being brought back to life with 4 doses of Narcan, which is like the ultimate amount that you can be given, being brought back to life. So I crave a world where workplace injuries don't happen, and that's why Lifebooster exists. And we've got a number of investors in Lifebooster, Gore-Tex and Colin Harris and some other pretty big names. So yeah, look forward to telling you a little bit more about Lifebooster. Right on. Okay. So here's this guy. So we actually were doing a safe for 1 million. We oversubscribed it at 1.35 million, and just with the strong demand that we've had, we've opened it up to now $2 million. And for those that don't know Lifebooster, we are transforming how large enterprises manage their risk and prevent workplace injuries using Sense, which is our risk analytics platform powered by AI. We are digitizing risk assessments at scale and helping these large industrial enterprises through wearable technologies and advanced analytics to identify, quantify, and eliminate risks across their overall operations. We have recently signed a $1.2 million ARR deal with Smurfit Westrock with the ability to go to a global expansion across 700 sites. We're also in the process of planning a global rollout with PepsiCo because we were just written into their global health and safety policy, opening up an opportunity of about $6 million in ARR over the next 3 years. We've also recently signed Keurig Dr. Pepper for an expansion deal. We're going to hit cash flow positive in the next 6 months, as well as about 3.5 million in ARR. We have Boeing, Cummins, JD Irving, and Masterbrand all coming to a close in our sales process. Our partnerships are opening up doors for General Motors and Home Depot as well. And the money that we're raising is helping us to secure these company-making deals, as well as securing a Series A in the next 6 months. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brian. Okay, next up, I have Michelle Gordon to introduce us to Ficsal Eye. So Michelle, could you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what brought you to starting Ficsal Eye?
Cool. Thanks, Aaron. A little bit about me. Well, normally I'd be the person hiding in the back row, here to support the founder as their CFO, providing them fantastic numbers and a business plan. But today I have the unique opportunity to be out in front because I am actually trying to create me. So what I was finding is a lot of times I was working with business owners in startups or small businesses. They were doing the books themselves or dealing with outdated bookkeeping. What we were finding was that it was very costly because they're missing out on opportunities because their books were a complete mess. I reached out to my network of CFOs and accountants on both Slack and LinkedIn and found out this was also an issue that they were facing. And this wasn't just an issue they were facing, there was an issue they were willing to pay to solve. So I reached out to QuickBooks, I reached out to Sage, I reached out to Deloitte Ventures, and I was like, hey guys, are we solving this problem? And they're like, nope. I was like, is this in your roadmap anywhere along the way? They're like, nope. And so I decided, you know what? I'm gonna try to solve this problem myself. So I created Ficsal Eye, your financial co-pilot. Let's get into my pitch. Do you know that 99.9% of businesses in both Canada and the US are small and medium-sized enterprises? That's over 34.3 million businesses. And many of them don't have the expertise of a CFO or controller. That is why we created Ficsal Eye. Our vision is to ensure that every business, no matter the size, has the expertise of a CFO. Our product is a conversational interface built off a multi-agent system that ensures fiscal oversight, education, and keeps you up to date on laws and regulations. Well, why us? Well, I have the CFO expertise as well as industry. And what do you do when you want to solve a problem? You find somebody way smarter than you. So I partnered with Rohit. Rohit, definitely way smarter than me when it comes to technology anyways. He has brought products to market before. He actually, if you own an Apple computer or an Apple product, you're probably using some of his products right now. So we definitely have the ability to bring that product. We started last year by interviewing and doing in-depth calls with 20 CFOs and CPAs in my network. We really wanted to determine we were solving the correct problem. We then opened up a opportunity for people to start doing beta testing. That's where we're at right now. We have a large wait list and we have over 1,000 people in my network that are ready to sign up right now. What am I looking for? I am looking for $500,000 to bring us to 100 paying customers at 50,000 monthly recurring revenue. Thank you.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much, Michelle. All right, next up, I'd like to introduce Matthew Hauser of Simuhealth. So Matthew, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to starting Simuhealth?
Guys, it's fun being on this side for a change. Been a member for a few years before this. My name's Matthew Hauser. Can I move this up?
Yeah, or if you want to take it out here.
All right. My background is I've been an entrepreneur full-time for over a decade. So not a first-time founder. Was a software engineer for 10 years. And most of you know me as the founder and CEO of Convergence for the past 10, 11 years.
Just people in the back are saying they can't hear you.
Oh,
Give you that.
sorry, guys. Yeah. Oh, that's better. So most of you know me as the CEO and founder of Convergence, which has since become one of Vancouver's best-known software development agencies. Been running that business for over a decade. That consumed the entirety of my 30s. In my 20s, I had a few startups before that, had one exit, one failure, and here I am entering my 40s, getting into the healthcare space with Simuhealth. All right, clicker. Cool. Every year, the world spends $8 trillion on healthcare, and a full 15% of that could be attributed to administrative waste and inefficiencies. Healthcare training is a cornerstone of the world's healthcare systems. This training spans the entire careers of all healthcare practitioners, and if this training is based on technology, they call it healthcare simulation. We've built the industry's first comprehensive operations platform, a standardized ERP for the world's healthcare training facilities and programs. We are quickly approaching commercial completion, and last year we sold four-year licenses to BC's Provincial Health Services Authority, Fraser Health, Interior Health, and Island Health authorities. We're experiencing a strong pull into the market, often through inbound inquiries from institutions that are looking for a solution just like this. Our purely organic pipeline of 24 institutions are waiting for next steps, and this includes Cedars-Sinai and Stanford. In the US alone, there are 7,000 healthcare simulation programs. We're raising $1.5 million US using a Y Combinator safe with an $8 million post-money cap. This gives us a 24-month runway to achieve $5 million ARR. We were recently venture-backed, led by New York-based Looking Glass Capital, supplemented by investments from Startup TNT and other investors. Looking to close on the remaining 800. This is out of date from 2 days ago. And as of recently, we've become EBC registered. We are building a Canadian healthcare unicorn, and we're keeping our roots here. I welcome you all to join us in our journey in modernizing healthcare training. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Matthew. Next up, I'd like to introduce Tiffany Kurland to tell us a little bit about Amygo Biotechnologies. But before you jump into the presentation, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what brought you to starting the business?
Hi, my name is Tiffany Kurland. Thank you. I'm the CEO and founder of Amygo Biotechnologies, and my background is in molecular biology and biochemistry and business entrepreneurship and innovation, and I'm currently completing my Bachelor's of Science at SFU. I first got into studying Alzheimer's disease when I was 8, and my grandfather passed away from it. And since then, I've had 7 more family members pass away from the disease. I've dedicated my life to studying the disease ever since then. I came up with this idea when I was 12, and I've been going to university to try and get my PhD to find an effective treatment, and this is the most effective treatment that I've found. I met my co-founder Max at a university, and he was a ex-electrical engineer for Tesla, and he helped me bring my theory to reality using his engineering skills. His mom is a caregiver for people with Alzheimer's disease, so he believes strongly in this cause. And without further ado, I'll get into the presentation. As I mentioned before, I watched my grandfather lose his memories and life to Alzheimer's disease, and I am not alone in this. Alzheimer's is the 7th leading cause of death globally, and it is caused by a buildup of plaque in the brain that kills neurons. One day, I was brushing my teeth with an electric toothbrush, and I thought to myself, could we use similar vibrations to break up plaque elsewhere? It turns out we can. Our device is able to break apart 50% of the amyloid plaque and regrow 200% of neurons in just 2 weeks. It does this by changing insoluble polymers into soluble monomers and by inducing stem cells via GABAergic pathways. There are other solutions on the market, but they are ineffective, invasive, and full of side effects. Priced at $5,000, the Amygo is an at-home, non-invasive, wearable medical device capable of reversing and preventing Alzheimer's disease with no known side effects. We have a comprehensive IP strategy in place with our lawyers at Fasken. We have a pre-order waitlist of 92, we've raised $60,000, and we've finished our pilot human trial to extremely positive results. With the projected growth of Alzheimer's patients to triple by 2050, there is a high immediate need for our product. We are EBC eligible and looking for mentorship, $300,000 to gain FDA and Health Canada approval, and to commercialize in 4 months. Thank you, and help us bring our vision of a world without Alzheimer's to life.
Fantastic job. Thank you, Tiffany. All right. Next up, we have Robert Call to tell us a little bit about Vitality Technologies. So, Robert, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you to starting the business?
Thanks, Aaron. My name is Robert Call. I'm the founder and CEO of Vitality Technology. I've been an entrepreneur now for 23 years, and Vitality is my 8th startup. I've had 3 successful exits. And 2014, I founded a company called Cloud Diagnostics. And today, Cloud Diagnostics is the leading provider in Canada of remote patient monitoring services for all the provincial health authorities in the country. Since 2014, we've raised $50 million for Cloud DX from over 300 high net worth and family office investors, mostly doctors. 97 of those formed a consortium last year to take Cloud DX private. Cloud DX is now growing at 56% year over year. This is the team that spun out Vitality Technologies from Cloud DX and has created this new company here in British Columbia as of September 2024. Because we have a giant problem facing all of us, our whole civilization, and it is the problem of aging folks about to use up enormous amounts of resources, healthcare resources. This was in the news just 2 weeks ago from the C.D. Howe Institute. Aging seniors will add $2 trillion to the Canadian healthcare expenditure in the next 45 years. That's insane. The solutions are complex, but what's been identified as part of the solution is getting people out of the hospital, meeting seniors where they live. The idea is called hospital at home. And the technology that shows some of the most promise for delivering on hospital at home is artificial intelligence that can predict outcomes and improve efficiency. And the most promising medical AI for that purpose is Vitality Technology. And we know that because of studies we've done with the Population Health Research Institute at McMaster University. McMaster has now ordered Vitality for a 20,000 patient, 5-year study called Vision 2. So far at 8 sites in 5 countries around the world. That is an order pipeline of $5.8 million. So we set out when we launched the spin out, we set out to raise funds to get us to our first big delivery milestone for Vision 2. We set out to raise 700,000 with preference shares. We've raised 300 so far. We're now completing that raise, an additional 400 at a pre-money valuation of 2.1. The milestone is the first delivery of the Vitality platform in September of this year, and that invoice will get paid in October. So please, love to answer your questions when we're all done here, and thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Robert. All right. Next up, I would like to introduce Evelina Panikowski. I got it. I'm sorry for the mispronunciation there, Evelina, but please tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and what brought you to starting Zucchini.
Hi, I'm Evelina, founder of Zucchini, and we are a tech company that builds furniture. So what inspired my journey? Well, on my daily commute to Toronto while I was working on my environmental design major and furniture design minor, I would literally stumble over furniture garbage. It was an obstacle course, and it really triggered me, and I decided to make it my mission. I made the mission to eliminate global furniture waste, and I dedicated the next 13 years of my life working in industry, and then eventually I started my own shop, testing my theories on circular design, and we had, shortly after, co-founder Peter Byrne joined the team with 16 years industry experience. We also have my sister, Dorota. She's Canada's top art director, working with IKEA on their campaigns. She joined our team. And we also had 2 spontaneous connections come into our life. And they each individually scaled and exited furniture companies. So with these veterans, with these skills, and with this team, we knew we just had to make. So I'll get into it. Okay, so here's Sean and Lisa, and they have a coffee table budget of $1,000. And here's what they're thinking. Well, we've got kids. Our kids won't want it when we're done. We'll probably change our minds and want this one in a couple of years. Furniture is not a good investment. There's no investment security. In the end, they purchase a $250 IKEA. Enter manufacturing as a service or mass arm box. With our part tracking technology, each part becomes an asset that gains and retains value over time. And more than that, becomes serviceable. So now John and Lisa can customize parts, replace parts, sell back parts, and their end-of-life parts turn into biochar and never end up in the landfill. More than that, John and Lisa spend 75% more with the security of their investment. Our pilot Reforest Design has acquired $850,000 in revenue with 800 customers who are all spending $1,000 on a coffee table. We have already acquired or secured partners for each one of our segments, including robotics, to eliminate in-house development. Our model is consumer-centered, B2C, grows with retailers, B2B, and scales by becoming the #1 franchise in market. So because we're selling high-value furniture instead of hamburgers in the exact same footprint as McDonald's, we're able to offer a return on investment that's never been seen before within the franchise market. We're fundraising a pre-seed round of $500,000 to reach a 20-month runway for $100,000 advance our tech, secure a patent, and market our product for the very first time. And we're also seeking a lead to set our valuation. Thank you, and let's make furniture an investment that never dies.
Thank you so much, Evelina. Right. So we have our last 90-second presenter up on deck here. So I'd like to hand it over to Stefano Fregonese. I will hand over the controls, but tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what brought you to starting Disc Alloys.
Hey everyone, I'm Stefano Fregonese, and I'm the founder and CEO of Disc Alloys. So my background is in engineering. I did a bachelor degree in civil, then a master in structural with focus in computational mechanics. And then I moved to Canada for a PhD in mechanical engineering. And then is when I came across this amazing technology that is called cold spray. And I see the endless opportunity for this. So I decided to start this company. Back in November, we were here pitching for the 90-second, and it worked. After that, a few months later, we closed the round. And and we were able to move forward. Now, let me remind you what we do, how we do it, and why investors are backing us. So we do metal additive manufacturing with cold spray. Is a technology that take a metal particle and accelerate to supersonic speed. These particles, when they hit the target, they bond and they form a solid state. There is no melting involved. This means we can add on top of each other a different metal, for example, copper, stainless steel, Inconel, and even superalloys. The pinnacle application for this technology is a rocket combustion chamber for missile or rocket. And we have a lot of traction in this space with an LOI from North Space and a former VP of propulsion of SpaceX joining the company as an advisor. We are also business people, so we think about how to get to revenue faster. So we found a secondary application, which is a high-performing mold for plastic injection molding. With our technology, we can reduce cycle time and improve profitability about to 80%. And this is a $2.6 billion business only in Canada. So how we win is to put together a great advisory board with people with C-suite experience to make a better strategic decision. We are here to look for a leading investor to close a $1 million raise in the fall. We have a what if that they invested in us, and we are also sorry, and thumbs up. Thank you so much. And we're also ABCL eligible. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much, Stefano. All right. So as a reminder here, we'll just go to that. Can we go to the Vantec slides here? We're on them. I just need to click on it. There we go. Just as a reminder, if you haven't checked off your top 90-second pitch, please do so. We really value your feedback, your input on that as well. So you should either have the paper copy or you can do it online here as well. See a few folks out, so I'll wait a second before we go to our 5-minute presentation. So first 5-minute presenter that I'd like to introduce is Fusion Genomics. I would like to invite John Seminario up to introduce Mohammed and tell us how you're connected with the business and what you like about Fusion Genomics. So I'll hand it over to you, John.
Thanks, Aaron. Let me pull this out. I'm having trouble hearing everybody, so I better do it this way. My name's John Seminario. I've been involved in high tech in BC for over 30 years. Some people in the room know me already, but a quick background on me. I think my claim to fame was a company I was CEO of in 2000. We sold it to Redback Networks. It was called Abata Systems, and we sold it for $1.3 billion. This was before unicorn was a normal thing for billion-dollar companies. And a couple of years after that, I was CEO of another company I started called Actiga-based Systems. We raised $24 million of A capital very, very quickly because of our previous success. It was the same group of people. And about 14 months later, we sold that company for $155 million. So it was probably the fastest exit in Vancouver history. I've been involved in quite a few companies since then. Fusion Genomics is the first one that's in the healthcare space. The reason I'm in this company, and I'm one of the lead investors in the company, is that they're doing something really exciting. They're doing something in the, and Mohammed's going to tell you all about it, but it's something in the diagnostic space that hadn't been done before, and I thought it was quite interesting. So I jumped in with them about 5 years ago, and was on the board for a couple of years, and they asked me to be chair about 3 years ago, and so I've been chairman for the past 3 years. The company is at that point where we have our lead customer. We're basically going to be break even, cash flow break even in about a year's time. So we're doing a safe round. Mohammed will tell you about it. I think it's probably the most attractive safe I've ever seen. I helped write it and then took a quarter of it myself. So just so you know, it's $1 million round. We've probably already got half of it taken. And it's still about $500,000 that's available. I'm going to turn it over to Mohammed. It's a very exciting opportunity. I think it's something that's very unique, and it's going to dramatically change the diagnostic space in healthcare. Mohammed.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Hand it over to you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. And thank you to the organizers for the opportunity to introduce Fusion Genomics. I am Mohammed Kadir, CEO and CSO of Fusion. As the name implies, One test is a diagnostic test which diagnoses all infections in under 24 hours. It's developed with a focus on hospitalized patients. It's powered by technologies which have been built in-house at Fusion, including our patented DNA capture baits that identifies any pathogen genomes and all their lineages, where our AI adds another layer. It delivers actionable intelligence to guide informed clinical decisions. The assay is now in clinical use at University of Florida Shands Hospital for diagnosing lower lung infections in ICU patients. This matters. Why? Because infections drive nearly 2/3 of all hospitalizations in critical care, especially the ICU. Delays in the diagnosis can push mortality as high as 60. These delays also extend hospital stays, inflate costs, contributing over $20 billion in direct healthcare spending in the US alone. One test targets this exact gap, delivering answers fast to guide treatment when it matters the most. One test has been rigorously validated in over 3,000 patients across a broad range of use cases, from intubated ICU patients with pneumonia to GI infections in preterm infants. We have demonstrated a 55% diagnostic advantage over all existing methods, including other DNA sequencing-based tests. Along the way, we have also generated over $5 million in partnership revenue with all the people you see over there, and have published more than half a dozen peer-reviewed papers with these leading institutions. Here's what it looks like in the real world. Here is a patient at UF Shands went 3 weeks with no diagnosis, despite multiple tests, including a sequencing-based assay from a competitor. One test delivered a definitive answer in 21 hours, enabling faster treatment and better outcome. A complex co-infection of Microbacterium and Pseudomonas. This is what it means to save time, save cost, and save lives. Our innovation is a fully integrated diagnostic platform where Fusion either owns or directly controls the entire 4 steps. We own the AI interpretation engine, the Fusion Cloud. And while we don't manufacture DNA sequences, we own all the reagents and automation protocols that provide end-to-end control of this process. This end-to-end control is what allows the one test to be deployed rapidly, reliably, and in hospital without reliance on third-party service labs. By the way, Fusion is also a manufacturing house for all the things used in those 4 processes. One test stands apart from players like Carius and Day Zero, the 2 of our main competitors, because we don't rely on a central lab. We empower hospitals to run the test on site when and where it's needed. There's no shipping, no waiting, and no delays for critically ill patients. And we do it at 1/4 the cost, same-day answers, full genomic resolution without leaving the hospital. We have launched at University of Florida, one of the top 10 hospitals in the US, which is with 1,100 beds. We conservatively project over 4,000 one test eligible patients annually. We are also in discussion with this. Okay. Fusion is not a stage idea. We have invested over $12 billion to build and validate, including $2 million from early angels and also $500,000 from within this room. And we have also attracted more than $5 million in non-dilutive funding. Commercialization has begun. We are ready to scale. We want to onboard 10 hospitals by 2027, projecting over $10 million in annual revenue. And this is the raise that John talked about. This is the team. We have built this company from scratch, and everything you see here, from assay design to AI interpretation, was developed by this team. Our leadership spans genomics, engineering, product, and backed by a board with billion-dollar exits. Thank you.
Fantastic. All right, let's get into Q&A. So Bailey will be coming around with the mic, and since I don't see hands shooting up right away, I'm going to take the first question. So tell us, obviously, great that you're at the stage you're at. You're about to kick off the commercialization with the University Strands. Tell us what an exit with a business like this looks like. What's your strategy behind that?
Absolutely, and actually, I have a Q&A slide. So it's where Fusion is. We are targeting a $3.5 billion serviceable market. We have strong IP, and our IP is also evolving into software as a medical device, where we are now taking the genomic information and other information which is in the hospital and telling the next layer of answers how we can help that patient faster. The acquisitions in our area range from at a very low end of a 300 million to everything that has been acquired is $1 billion plus. The last acquisition was 8 billion, and the AI actually adds up a multiple, and the strategic fits are the Roches of the world.
Thank you for that. All right, so we'll open it up for questions here. I see we have Abdul with a question right next to you there, Bailey. Over to you, Abdul.
Hi. Sorry, can you just explain more about the product itself? You're selling those test kits?
Yes, these are test kits which are then automated on a standard laboratory robot called as a Hamilton. All hospitals has them. We are actually fortunate enough to have one of the world's leading most expert in the area, to Dr. Patrick Tang, also in the audience. We are also hoping to bring this technology here to the hospital in our own hometown. So yeah, it is.
So the outcome would be, you're saying some genomic sequencing, or?
Yeah, so the outcome is a sequencing, but then it goes to our cloud, and then we tell exactly this is the outcome. You tell exactly what the patient has and what are the probabilities of everything that the patient has.
So it's mostly in the software where you're with the analysis,
and also the hardware. Our IP is that hardware. That's what allows us to deliver it at 1/4 the cost. When you sequence a sample processed by our kit, you don't need to sequence the human genome or anything. All of that is taken care of.
So how many can you capture? How many?
Right now we can do about 350 pathogens and a total of about 20,000 known bacteria within that space.
Can you diagnose Lyme disease?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, let's open it up for some more questions here. I see one with Sean here.
Thank you. Yeah, interesting company. On your exit slide, you talked about a number of strategic relationships. Can you expand on how advanced they are, what kind of relationships they are, please?
It's not a strategic relationship, it's a strategic fit for these as an exit. No action, but they know us and we know them very well.
You didn't get a chance in the presentation to really get into the actual the offering, the terms of the offering, and as John pointed out, it's one of the most attractive safes that he's ever seen. So I think it's important that we go back to that slide if we can, and you can talk a little bit to.
So this is a safe. This is a safe round, and it has been authored by John since he was the lead investor. So it has been really made to the advantage of the investor. It has a cap of 24 million. We are EBC eligible, and and it is at a 50% discount.
Yes, I think it's that discount that is very attractive to the next round there. Okay, so any other questions in the audience here? Saving them all for networking. All right, well, give it up for Mohammed. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next up, I would like to introduce Melanie and Stephen from Aether EV, and I will be introducing them today as a sponsor. So I'm digging in and looking at them in due diligence for What If Capital. So what really attracted me to Aether EV initially was the team. I've been very impressed with the background the team has. They've brought together experts in their fields and surrounded themselves with some really impressive advisors, as well as have attracted the interest from some really key players as well. I also really like the approach they're taking, the novel approach to the EV charging, but I'll let them tell you a little bit more about that. So I will hand the controls over here, if you're going to be in charge there. And did you want to just hold this? There we
I
are.
think I will do that. Thank you very
right.
much. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Aaron. Okay, wake up, everybody. I want to thank you, and I would like to ask, hands up, how many people have ever taken an Uber? Okay, almost everybody. How many have taken an Uber in another country? So pretty seamless, right? Global. See the connection? So we're Aether EV. We are a hardware-enabled software solution. So what's the problem? The problem is giving you the slide control. We're already bickering. Okay, so here's the problem. EV charging is fragmented. It's a subpar experience. If you're an EV driver, of which I'm sure many of you are, there are many apps on your phone. We think there's also a lot of money that's been left on the table. So you see physically an EV charger, we see a digital pot of gold. Aether EV monetizes every charge into a high value action. So this is us. I'm Melanie Clarence. My background, I'm sorry, the co-founder and chief business officer. My background is science, medicine, and capital markets, and my specialty was clean tech. My partner, who I've known for 15 years, and yes, we get along, even when we argue, is Jerry Lai, and Jerry is our CEO. He, unfortunately, he wants to be here today, but he's in China discussing our latest design with our ad tech charger, with our manufacturer. He's also flying to Australia to expand our international footprint. Standing beside me today is Stephen Hitchinson, and Steve is our resident engineer. Come a little closer. And he's also our chief operating officer. And are you ready? He's the former head of Tesla Canada charging. So why did he join our firm? You can ask him later. Anyway, Steve is, go back to Steve for 1 second. So here's the, if you remember nothing else, remember this. For 8 years at Tesla, Steve could feel and see all the friction points. They were marinating in his brain. So we took those problems, and that's what Aether is. So to show you, we're going to do everything with technology. We've gone from hardware to technology. So first of all, let's take Sarah. Here's one example of something that we fix. Sarah needs groceries, and Sarah needs a charge. So she goes immediately to her Aether app, just like you would with Uber, and she presses reserve. There's one point of contact right now. We've engaged with her. She drives up to her stall. The charger is waiting just for her. No one else's car will work for that charge because she's reserved it. She plugs in and kids are screaming. She glances up, there's a 55-inch display screen, and she sees mangoes on. There's another point of contact from her app. She walks into Whole Foods. Kids cramming around, grabs a buggy, and all of a sudden, a prompt comes off from our geofenced app. Sarah, mangoes today on special. Use this digital coupon at checkout. Our third point of contact. Next. So what is Aether EV? We're basically reliable hardware layered on with robust software. I like to think of it like lasagna. And what we do is we generate this recurrence, this engagement and re-engagement with the client. Every time we're doing that, we're curating valuable and informative data. We're a data company masquerading as an EV charger company. So our platform creates a network effect. That means for every use and reuse, we become more valuable. I'm going to hand this one to Steve.
Thank you, Melanie. I think I can do both. So you can think of this as kind of 4 pillars, right? So we have a lot of data coming in. We use that data to make decisions on how to best, get that person charged and on their way. We monetize data real time on site. We geofence everything. We know where people are. We know their habits. We can curate content for them. And I think the thing that unifies all this is really pulling everybody onto one platform that's proprietary and backed by AI and machine learning. So competitive landscape, I think the thing to take away from this slide is the industry is very stagnant. None of these operators have evolved beyond their initial offering, and there is a big door open for somebody to come in with new innovative solutions that will drive better customer engagement and more revenue. What we're currently focusing on is building out our technology. We have existing hardware, existing software, and we are now iterating that to improve the experience and expand our revenue. The long-term goal 3 years from now is to pull everybody onto one user experience. Charging is not going to scale when you have 100 different choices. It's got to be one. How do we make money? This is the key for us, is to turn this into a multi revenue stream. What we can do when we have a platform that brings new user experience, we can derive new revenue from that. And that's essentially our goal.
Okay, really quickly. We are in revenue right now, and this is our fiscal year end is March 15th. So this year we are on target already to make $3.1 million US dollars currency, and in 2 years to make $37 million. Our company valuation is $5 million pre-money. We're raising 1 million. This is our third and last seed round. We will not oversubscribe. We are already saying no to certain parties that want certain terms. 25 cents per share, minimum investment, 50,000. We can reach a 12-month runway. And what Steve learned at Tesla is to stay lean and nimble, and we will. We'll achieve free cash flow from operations in 2 years. And our milestones for the next 12 months, deploy the platform to serve 1,000 daily active users on our app and to manage 1,500 charging stations across North America and Australia. So is there anything I've missed? I think there's probably things I can think of afterwards, but thank you very much. And we invite you into the ether. Thank you.
All right. Fantastic. Great job. All right. So we'll open it up for questions. And I am particularly interested in your experience, Stephen, as head of Tesla Canada. If you could tell us your thoughts on the difference between Aether EV and Tesla's approach, and tell us a little bit more about why you did decide to move over and join the team.
Sure. Thank you so much. So when you think about charging, this is obviously a space that's going to grow a lot over the next 10 years. Tesla's approach is fast charging. If you've been to a supercharger anywhere in Vancouver, that is how they are getting kilometers into people's cars so they can drive. But there's a number of limitations to that, right? One of them is just grid infrastructure, right? These are projects that are highly taxing on the grid at a time when every grid is already strained. But beyond that, like if you think about the driver experience, if you go from a minivan lugging your family around and you move into an EV, you're kind of trading the 5-minute gas station experience for 45 minutes to an hour sitting at a charging station. And you're going to do that once or twice a week. So it's a lot for a lot of people, it's going to become a lot more inconvenient. So fast charging can only scale so far, but when you zoom out, where is your car? 95% of the time, it's parked, right? You're not driving it. And a lot of the level 2 infrastructure is extremely underutilized. It may only be used 6 to 8 hours a week. And the reason why Tesla's building 40 stall superchargers is because, well, fundamentally, there's that much demand for it. But what it means is those people do not have access to home charging. They don't have a reliable place to charge. And one of the big things that's missing is there's really no way for drivers to interact with their charging, right? We need to solve that problem. We need to make it easy. We need to make it frictionless. And there can't be 100 different ways to do it. It's overwhelming for people. It's got to be one. So that's why we want to pull everybody onto one platform, really take the Uber approach, make it feature rich, introduce new charging opportunities that they do not have today. So it better integrates into their daily life. So we stop over investing in fast charging, which is not scalable when everybody has a EV.
Thank you. Open it up for any questions. On at the back there, Ed, if you wouldn't mind going.
I can just show.
Oh yeah.
Let's use it just for the people online.
I just want to get some clarity about the hardware part. Are you guys building charging stations?
Yeah, so to clarify on the hardware part, yes, we have our own hardware, our own level 2 hardware. And I think the way to think about it is today, our hardware is the best solution to work on our platform.
What's your unit cost for a charger?
Unit cost for a charger is going to depend on which charger you buy, but let's just say it's sub $1,000.
No, your cost. I'm talking.
Yeah.
1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
But just to expand on that, the goal 3 years from now is any hardware works on our network, right? We're just providing the best hardware today. The platform, the software will be open to everybody. That's the goal.
Thanks. Greg Francis. Can you just draw the line again between the hardware and the sort of everything app vision that you started with? If we got that right, there seems to be an evolution from hardware to platform, right?
Yeah. So right now, hardware is so let me back that up a little bit. What we want to do through software is enable new features, right? Like one of those, think about mixing Airbnb with charging, right? A lot of people have an unutilized assets that they can let others use. They can make money, and we hosting the platform can make money. So our hardware today is going to be the one that best works in that ecosystem, meaning we're going to embed features into it that make it a seamless experience where it would not be so on another piece of hardware. And then we want to then basically write the standard for other operators. If you want like the best experience, your hardware needs to be able to do, things 1 through 3. And then as time goes on, the users on our network, it's not just us deploying our hardware. We want to make it easy for all of the existing operators to have their chargers on our network. And we really make money off each of those transactions by providing that service.
So in a sense, many things. Our software could power, technically speaking, Hypercharge, Switch, whose ever other hardware is out there. Or you could have your own hardware at home, maybe it's one of those companies, and our app could enable your neighbor to borrow your charger and you make money from it. Now, we're not stupid. We make money all the way along. We get little clips of the electricity and clips of the carbon credits, but we don't. We don't charge annual software fees. We don't charge monthly fees. We don't charge activation charges. This is unusual. This is why some of the largest property developers in Vancouver, like Anthem, like Intergulf, like Kingswood Properties, use us. And this is why many of those types of parties are also our investors. And by the way, forgot to mention, we do have 2 institutional investors that are people that want to take us on NASDAQ in 2 years. Sorry.
Tiffany, I think, had a question.
Oh, yes. Oh, there we go. Okay. I was wondering about the installation experience. I guess, are you partnering with companies like Tesla, or is it the users are installing it themselves, or are you offering maybe like a cable company type of deal where you go and install it?
Yeah, so we partner with companies to do the installation work on our behalf. I'd say we coordinate it. The Tesla approach is to own and operate it. So they own everything that you see, they own it, which is really capital intensive. We're focused on selling the hardware to users who need it. Like a lot of businesses are looking to put in charging to kind of round out their customer experience. A lot of customers are asking for them. In almost every development, they have to put them in. So that's where we come in. We will connect we will provide the hardware and software, and we bring in trusted partners to do the installation work for us.
Thank you.
Question right here. The mic here.
I'm just gonna go around.
Where is your hardware manufactured?
Hardware is manufactured in China.
For level 2. Level 3 is manufactured.
Next up, I would like to invite Jessica Boseman up to introduce us to Doubl. But before Jessica takes the mic here, I'd like to hand over to Udi to tell us how you're connected with Doubl and with Jessica and her co-founder. What brought you to what piqued your interest? What made you interested in Doubl? Take it away.
Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Udi. Some of you know me as the CEO of Dana, others as the chairman of Acetech. I'm an angel investor and entrepreneur in my own rights. I think that Chang introduced me to Bryn about a year ago. I think that was the introduction. And I had a quick chat and I found a founder that is eager to listen and do something about it. And then I was introduced also to Jessica and I met we're basically a twin, just doing the other thing from a product perspective. And so that's what basically their traction and their continual growth and action on feedback is what drew me in continually in the conversation to the point that they're now putting a round together. I can confirm that I'm participating in it. And because they're a smart, capable, and driven founder duo, that listen and executes to advice. Sorry, I don't care if you're blushing. The other reason, from a technical perspective, this is a very practical use of AI. A lot of people are hand-waving their way around AI and keep throwing into everything. For them, it's just an algorithm to make money, right? And it's very clear, and you'll see how it actually is a very practical use of it. And lastly, it's because of the target market they're approaching. They're tapping a market of people with money that are able to pay, that are looking for a solution, and what they've done so far works. So as far as I'm concerned, it checks all the boxes. Sorry, now you have to prove me wrong.
Thank you, Udi, for the kind words. So hi, everyone. My name is Jessica, and I'm the co-founder of Doubl. And disclosure, today we're going to be talking about bras, so it may make some of you in the room a little uncomfortable. However, I can guarantee it's more uncomfortable for the 50% of the population that have to wear them on a daily basis. You may think of your partner, mother, sister, and I just want to encourage you to remember that this is a small sample size, and at Doubl, we have talked to thousands of women, and this presentation is grounded in real high-quality data. So I encourage you to focus on the depth of the problem and the breadth of the opportunity. So right now, the retail industry treats all bodies as if they're proportionally uniform, and we all know that that isn't true. And this can be quantified in a couple of different ways. The first is that people are starting to use their homes as change rooms, so returns are at an all-time high. Socially, 77% of women report daily discomfort due to their clothing. Doubl is creating a solution by creating custom-made clothing at scale, and we are doing this by creating a very practical and tangible use of AI called Tailor. So Tailor, like your virtual tailor, is taking 250 plus biometric data points and turning it into a production-ready pattern that can be seamlessly integrated in current manufacturing infrastructure. Right now is the perfect time because people are demanding customization and personalization. E-commerce has seen an explosion over the past few years, and the technological readiness for this have never existed until now. So we are the only company focused on what we like to call level 1 clothing. So this is clothing close to the body, such as bras, underwear, shapewear, and swim. We have a clear product roadmap getting us to level 2 clothing, your repeatable basics, and then white labeling long-term to other retailers. We strategically started with the bra because it's the most complex garment to get right, and also the most important to be precision fit. Also, in the intimate apparel space, return rates are as high as 40%, and at Doubl, they're less than 1%. We have an inherently more profitable business model. So currently ready-to-wear starts at a high gross margin and then is diluted through discounts, returns, and unsold inventory. At Doubl, we do not have any unsold inventory and very few returns. So our end of season gross margin is almost twice as high as anybody else in the industry. So a year ago today, we had 3,000 beta users. We used a statistical algorithm, and my co-founder and I were not full-time with the business. Today, we've made over $50,000 off one single SKU in the last 12 months. We validated an end-to-end tech stack. We have a team of 6, a clear target market, and capacity of 30 bras per week. A year from now, with your funding, we will hit $1.6 million in sales across 6 different SKUs. We'll have a fully automated tech stack. We'll hit 10 employees and validate this technology across the lower body for other clothing verticals and hit 300 bras for capacity per week. We launched through a Kickstarter a year ago. We had over 100 paying customers in less than 11 hours. Since delivering over 300 bras, we have a 40% repeat rate, a very sticky product, and 25% of women are buying multiples. We've also proven that this is twice as comfortable than any leading bra on the market. We are strategically focused on women in midlife. This represents 1/3 of all the women in the US. Their bodies are rapidly changing due to menopause. They've experienced decades of frustration. They're digitally savvy and they have high discretionary income. So just at North America, just in bras, just women 45 to 65, this is a $2 billion beachhead opportunity. As we expand across all verticals, this will be a $1 trillion global opportunity. Our go-to-market is multi-pronged and already in motion. So we'll be at in-person events such as the National Menopause Show, enhanced distribution through channels such as Amazon, and scan and shop so people can touch and feel and purchase right on the spot. This will enable us a reach of over 50 million women, paving our way to growth. We have a really strong IP strategy. There's an abandoned patent currently in the field, which allows us to operate freely without having to put our IP in the public domain. This really protects your investment. We're also going to be building out other assets such as trademarking our lexicon, that level 1, level 2 clothing, and really building strong brand equity. Doubl is currently the only brand on the market that is truly addressing the root cause of fit. We are also more efficient and less expensive than custom traditional, and any B2B player right now has no traction in the market. We have a really strong team with domain expertise. My co-founder and I have known each other for the past 10 years. Bryn has a background in brand management and marketing at Unilever, leading top brands. My background's in retail operations at Essence, Herschel, MEC, so I'm very well versed in product development. We have a machine learning engineer with over 20 years of experience and a veteran in the garment technologist space. We will hit profitability by 2026 and break even within a year of funding. We are raising $750,000 on a safe to power our next 12 months. This money will go towards key milestones such as automating our entire process and hitting that 70% gross margin, building a repeatable go-to-market strategy and proving out our customer acquisition cost, and then replicating our technology across other verticals in the retail category. Thank you, and I hope you join us in building manufacturing that's better for people, the planet, and profits.
Hi, could you tell me a little bit more about the patent side and the IP? I wasn't quite clear on that. So how does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now there's an abandoned patent in the space for essentially what we're building. And what that means is that no other company can patent this technology. So it allows us the freedom to operate and not have to put our IP in the public domain. So it's actually much stronger because nobody can come in and just copy exactly what we're doing by reading our blueprint. So this provides like a very strong moat for us, and we'll continue building up IP assets as we build into our manufacturing.
To John and then Mike.
Yeah, I'm just curious if if I ordered a bra today, how long do I wait before I get it?
Our current turnaround time is 3 weeks, and that's because we're operating in batches. Once we have our technology fully up and running, the turnaround time will be 1 week.
And my question has to do with one of the slides. It looked like the customers scan themselves and they do that naked. And do they worry about that?
So that's a good question. They are not naked. They're fully clothed. They're wearing form-fitting black clothing, such as leggings and a top like I'm wearing today. It takes less than 2 minutes. It's easily done at home by yourself, and we've had no pushback so far with customer scanning.
Hey, thanks.
I have Mehar at the front.
You mentioned rapidly changing body sizes for these customers, and then they're waiting 3 weeks on kind of an expensive product. So how do you reconcile that? Because how long does it work for them before they need another one? Because
Yeah.
it's very custom fit, right?
Yes, exactly. So what I was alluding to with rapid body changes, women, when they're going through menopause, they typically they lose some of the elasticity of their skin. They may be getting back fat for the first time. Their breasts might change size. So our bra will fit you unless you fluctuate over around 15 pounds. So once your body goes through that transition, it's similar to, a second puberty or postpartum. So once you've stabilized a little bit, the bra will fit you indefinitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm an industrial engineer, and one of your slides showed me 30 per week, okay, which just does not sound scalable at all, because I think your other slides show me robots and things like this. Why so slow? That's the question I'm asking. And because one of the things investors here are always looking for is scalability.
Absolutely. So our big picture vision is that one day you're going to walk into a brick and mortar store, order a coffee, do a quick body scan, sit down, finish your coffee, and your clothing will come out fully made exactly to you. Right now, the internal bottleneck is that we've brought in this product to market through a manual version. So our pattern maker is actually making these tweaks. And we had to do that because we needed to get test data. So we've called all 300 customers, and we now have really high quality, unique data where we have the quantitative, body mesh completed with the actual finalized pattern. And yes, this fits perfectly. This is now a validation point. So we only were capable of doing so many per week based on the manpower that we had. However, going forward, once Taylor is fully automated up and running, we will no longer have that internal bottleneck, and we have exponential ability to scale with our factory.
Quinn Zhu online, she asks, what does a scan need LiDAR or purely photo based?
So the scan uses photogrammetry technology on your cell phone.
I guess it comes back to, again, the industrial engineering. I've visited many garment manufacturers over the years, and one of the first questions I ask them is how many man minutes does it take to sew their garment? And a complicated garment, say something like Far West or Mustang or something like that, would be about 100 man minutes. I'll use man minutes rather, person minutes. So it just comes down to, why stretching that. I can't see, a bra with all its parts, a lot less parts, a lot less inches of sewing. And so that's the question why I was asking. It just seems like a long time to take something, even a week, to sew something with just a few person minutes of sewing linear inches of sewing.
Yeah, it doesn't take a week to manufacture. We just do kind of batches in like week-long batches. And from a manufacturing perspective, I always like to remind people that all of the clothing that you're wearing today is sewn by real people. So, robotics hasn't gotten to the point where we can use, fingers to sew things automatically. But what we're doing is we're still laser cutting everything like you would at a traditional manufacturer. And we're making things as efficient as possible by pre-cutting things that are already adjustable. So for example, straps, we can do a little bit of pre-cutting there, and that way we're as efficient as possible. And what's interesting is in traditional retail, you're forecasting and you're putting in your orders 1 to 2 years in advance, and we're constantly operating on a daily basis.
Hi, you mentioned Amazon as a potential strategic partner. Do you have any active strategic partnerships under discussion now with larger companies?
Yes, we currently have one with Healthy Her. So we're looking at partnerships, both online distribution and physically in store with retailers. So that way we can have physical pop-ups for those people who would like to touch and feel. I think that relationship of omni-channel is really important. And then online, so for example, Healthy Her focuses on that menopausal customer, and then we can just be kind of like a plug and play and operate on a commission model with those partners.
You are collecting a lot of data, and are you planning to capitalize on the data anywhere in your vision and business plan?
Yeah, absolutely. So our goal, and really what makes this, a $1 billion opportunity, is white labeling this to other retailers. We really believe that this is the shift that retail is going to go through, and to the point where everything is custom made. And sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. Do you mind repeating one more time? It's monetizing the data. So basically, we're going to encourage through a lead generation tool to get as many people to scan as possible. So then one day we can go to, your Lululemon and say, we already have 40% of your customer base scan. We have that data. We can now proactively create garments and plan products based on their bodies rather than looking at historical data and betting on past trends. And then that way it's going to just create this really iterative like flywheel loop of onboarding B2B customers.
All right. Next up, we have our last 5-minute presenter. And so I'd like to invite Carlin up to the stage here. Now, Carlin was going to be introduced by Ficsal Eye with eFund, but I'm not sure if Ficsal texted you. I think she's online, but got the days mixed up with the holiday and all of that. I'm surprised more of you didn't make that mistake as well. But I wanted to introduce Carlin because I am actually diving into due diligence myself for What If. I'm usually diving into most of the companies that we have present at Vantec here. But I've been following your story for quite a while, and I've been really impressed by the traction and year-over-year growth that Carlin has been able to achieve. You've gained a lot of attention from different partners. You've won a huge amount of awards as well for the work, the impact that you're having in the world, and so I think it's really impressive. I'm excited about what you're building, and so I would like to introduce you to tell us a little bit more. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're still awake out there. Thank you for having me. I know this is it's been a long one, but my name is Carlin. I'm the founder CEO of AquaEye, previously known as VotaSafe. We've recently rebranded. Our customers just recognize us as AquaEye. We're saving lives through safer, faster water rescue. 300,000 people drown every year. And for every one person who drowns, 5 others are injured, often suffering stroke-like symptoms from brain damage. So when it comes to rescue, every second counts. Whether rescuers are facing a bridge collapse, a boat accident, a natural disaster, or a plane crash, these incidents are felt around the globe and they cost the global economy. Drowning costs $150 billion every year. And the number one frustration we hear from rescuers is that they have to wait. They arrive on scene ready to act, and they're forced to stand by, often for an hour or more, for equipment to arrive and be deployed, all while families are standing by in peril, begging them to do something. And they can't unless they have AquaEye. So AquaEye is a handheld sonar device that uses AI to quickly locate people underwater, turning hours or days of search into minutes at a fraction of the cost of current archaic rescue methods. We've sold over 1,000 units across 50 countries and have now launched AquaEye Pro with Command Hub. Pro is a far superior device designed to work in a myriad of environments. It has a companion app that allows our customers to save their scans for documentation and training, and it connects to Command Hub. So it allows a commander to stand on shore and actually stitch together these images, allowing us a secondary pass at AI, but providing that user the ability to see where they have and haven't scanned. AquaEye LifeNet is our platform that will amalgamate all the data from our devices into one platform to allow customers to manage disaster response. So we have a handheld version. We are looking into boat mount. We have a $500K grant to explore ROV applications and modularize our device that will allow us to look into other applications as well. AquaEye can do in minutes what a full team often can't do in a day. We are primarily selling to fire and police, search and rescue and military, and now we're looking into commercial diving as well. Once we become the standard in first response, our vision is to have AquaEye in the hands of every public safety member around the globe, which is essentially double, possibly triple this market. We work with a lot of partners. This team, led by John, a Navy master diver of 30 years, is called Copper Collar Group. They're all ex-Navy SEALs, and he can tell you AquaEye unequivocally works, but he's also sold $300K worth to the US Navy SEALs, and he's just closed $150K to the US Air Force. And he's not alone in his trust of AquaEye. We have customers around the world who've recognized it as a game changer. Our customers are seeing a 90% reduction in search times. So it's saving them money, it's keeping them safe, and keeping them out of the danger zone for much less time, and also allowing a real chance at saving lives. It pays for itself in one use. So a typical search is 50 to 100K of taxpayer money. Being able to buy a kit of this device and being able to cut down search times for 90% onward is huge for these entities. We are selling globally. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in the world right now. We continue to diversify our market. We are strong in India, is a huge market there, as well as Indonesia, in places in Europe, and strong in the US. We are moving heavily into Southeast Asia. We've seen quarter-over-quarter growth since 2021. We're on pace to hit 3.5 million this year. Our target next year is 7.5 and then 16.5 the year after. The reason for the jump is that we are moving that average deal size from 14K to 30K. So last year, average deal size was 14. Right now, we're at 23.5. Target is 30 next year. Our margins were hovering around 70%. New product and new kit will allow that to hit software margins. So the changes in our product are also allowing us to create a much more scalable entity. Our team of 15, so myself and Patrick worked at a biomedical tech startup. Some of your slides gave me nightmares from working in labs and all those assays. He's a brilliant engineer. He's taken product from, prototype to manufacturing. We do manufacture here in Vancouver. And Eric's worked in startups, taken teams from 0 to 10 million in run rate. We set out to raise 5 million last year. We got to 3.5. I had to get back to work. Q1, we hit 160% ahead of plan. Web Summit came up. We ended up as a finalist there, opened the round back up to capture the last 1.5. We need more marketing assets. We need more boots on the ground. It's a very high touch market. And we want to continue to support that R&D and product roadmap. And that's it. Help us save lives. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, questions. I see Mike, and I'll keep track of others. So we'll go to Mike here first.
Thanks, Carlin. Nice presentation. This may be a bit of a delicate question, but to what degree does the device actually save lives versus reduce costs of recovering bodies, essentially?
Not a delicate question. We get asked it a lot. Right now, it's more about recovery. However, long-term, we've pulled people out who still have pulses. We've pulled people out within 5 minutes. The problem is our customers haven't yet been the first to arrive on scene. So we've arrived in situations where somebody's been searching for 16 hours and we get them in 10 minutes. We had that happen last week. So we need more in close proximity. We need one in every lifeguard chair, on every fire truck, and every police car. They just need to be everywhere. The other side of the story that can't really be calculated is the rescuer's lives saved. So when you're looking at our long-term vision, we want to eradicate drowning by rescue. A lot of our customers tell us the horror stories of how they lost their buddy on the job, and this would have changed everything. They were diving in blind conditions. They were out there for hours, and they do things. We just attended one on North Shore where our employee corrected them on the elevation, which completely drastically changes the amount of air in a tank. You've got a lot of well-meaning individuals doing important work and risking their lives. They need better tools because it's way too complex the way they're doing it right now.
Hey, thanks.
Sorry.
Really excellent presentation. What limits the range?
Oh, speed of sound, basically. So right now it has a 50-meter range. So you can search the area of a football field in a minute, which is highly effective. If you want it to go further, we can change frequencies, you can change the power in the unit. These things are being explored for the ROV deep sea stuff. But essentially, if you got to wait for that ping to go out and come back and you're turning your hand in the water, there's a kind of point where you're like, this is too slow. So we're kind of also working with our customers, a lot of them, if they're working without boats or without even skimboards or et cetera, 50 meters, it's the length of a pool. It's a typical distance before they would hop into something and move closer. But limitations, it's really just power, frequency, and time.
But for clarity, if you amped up the power, you could get much larger ranges.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Have Stanley at
What are price points per unit?
So this guy, there's several packages. So a Scout is $12,995 US, so 14, 15K, going up to a 30K US price for 2 units and a tablet. But we were on a call this morning where customers are asking for bigger and bigger kits, willing to pay 50K. So it's going to evolve over time. We launched Pro in May. So it's early days. We did about 150K pre-sale. This is the one that the US Air Force has purchased. There's a lot of room, but right now it's retailing for, as a single unit, $12,995 US.
So you're focused mostly on the hardware sale, and are you expanding in terms of software recurring revenue? I mean, they take it, they go with it. That's great. What's your margin also on the hardware?
Thank you for these questions. Yes, we are building into software. So right now they have the app, the platform will come into play, but we are working on a HaaS model as well as a SaaS model as we introduce more and more features on the device. In the beginning for pre-sales, we just want to move product because we need that customer data and that interaction. But yes, we are building a SaaS model that will be in place as of 2026. Hardware margins are very strong. They vary depending on if we're going direct. Happy to chat to you after to give you actual details on that, but they're strong. They're like, we're in the software range.
Yeah, just a quick one to build on this gentleman's question. Your range, how deep can you go?
Oh, so it scans 50 meters out. You can tip it down and it'll scan 50 meters straight down. So kind of that curve.
If we put a lot more power in it, can I identify a submarine?
So that's what our ROV applications are working on. There's a lot of products out there that the military's asked us for many things. I think finding undetonated mines, submarines, yes, that type of stuff could be done. It just depends on that ROI. Does it make sense for us to chase something that's not really the tricky part about what we're doing? The thing here is we've built up data sets and an algorithm over the past 6 years to identify targets and like specify what they are.
Okay, last question would be, what are your terms? I didn't see them.
Oh, yes, NBC was the lead investor. I'm happy to share those afterwards. We're at 12.5 million pre with a 5% dividend, annual dividend.
Very interesting product and technology.
Thank you.
And a great presentation. I read this many years ago and it boggled the mind. I still remember the figure. I think I have the figure I read. Whether or not it's true, I don't know. But I read that 50,000 Russians drowned a year because they get partying on the vodka and they drowned. So that may be a heck of a market for you.
I'll keep that in mind.
Okay.
When are you going to Russia?
So I know Nimrod, it's a new UK manufacturing company, actually produces similar product. Could you tell me the difference and I guess your USP compared to their product?
I'm actually not familiar with Nimrod, to be honest, so I'd have to take a closer look at that product. Our customers have never heard of it. That's what I know. Is it for pool applications or outdoor?
More for kind of deep sea rescue and diving.
Okay, so if it's deep sea, so we're really monopolizing kind of shoreline. So is it closer to a deep trekker, like a?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if it's more in competition with deep trekker, that's not us. We actually part of our ROV grant is to start working with companies like that. So I should look into the company in terms of partnership, but I wouldn't imagine it'd be a direct comparison if it's deep sea. Really, when you're focusing, I mean, we've had customers come up to us being like, "We have a 250K product. It's sonar. It doesn't work. Why would I buy yours?" And you kind of have to go through this education path with them to really walk through why sonar is so challenging. And where we're focused is that the world of sonar seems to be really focused on higher and higher imaging because human beings want to see underwater the way they see above water. Our focus is you don't need to be able to see. You harness and trust the AI to find the target you're looking for and get there quickly and get them out. It's a very different concept. I think and searching with a single unit is incredibly slow. All of our search patterns are bird's eye view. Our product goes in the water and looks through it. So we're all about speed and simplifying the process so that the rescuers, the people who are out in these environments every day right now, don't have to think. They just get to act. They take this thing, they find quickly. So I would imagine if it's deep sea, it's a kind of a very different market.
Thanks.
Steal this for 2
Yes.
seconds. I love all of the questions here. I'm gonna ask one question. We're gonna give Landon the very last question, but this seems to be my favorite question of the evening. Can you tell us a little bit about the exit strategy of just who would buy you and why they would buy you?
Absolutely. Thank you, Aaron. So exit strategy wise, there's several entities that we're following, Axon, Teledyne, a couple, to kind of get a sense of where they're marketing right now. Even Honeywell has kind of shifted and started working on public safety and search and rescue. So these companies we've been following, we've attended conferences to try to figure out where exactly we would fit. So far, we haven't found any direct competitors in this space. There's a huge push towards I don't have to work so hard when I'm trying to educate people on why they need to use technology. In the public safety space, in the first responder space, they need tech because they don't have enough humans to actually do the work anymore. Axon was a perfect example of that. Force multiplier was used in every single presentation. I think we'd fit very well with some of these entities once we become that standard. A lot of them are they were first focused on land, now they're focused on air. I want to be the company that covers water for them. And so I think once we get to that standard space, will be a really strong fit. And frankly, that might be when the company becomes boring because there'll be kind of sort of a repetitive thing. So that's really what we're looking for is acquisition around 2028.
Yeah, I'm curious about the feedback you're hearing from your customers. I mean, I know you had a lot of testimonials, but back to, are you getting repeat orders? Are you getting larger orders? Are they starting with pilots and coming back looking for larger orders? And basically, do you feel like you've achieved product market fit?
Excellent question. Yes. So 60% of our customers are repeat customers. 40% of our customers in the US come from referrals. And teams like the SEALs, teams like the LA Fire, they started with couple units. So an order K, and then within 18 months, it's 150K. And now we're still working, now they're working on upgrading to the new units. So yes, government does not move quickly, but it is sticky. So once you get in, we are seeing that growth. I would say we didn't have product market fit with Light, the one that's made our 7 million revenue to date. I think we got early adopters, which was phenomenal, and we got a bit past that. But I mean, the product was designed from my perspective as a lifeguard to be used in the same place every day for finding kids who've just slipped off that drop off. I had no idea that there were military applications then, and that fire and police were so heavily involved in search. But you see situations like the plane crash in DC. We talk to people on the ground. It's nuts. Nobody knows what's going on. The hardware will enable us to actually bridge the communication gap so that as they arrive on scene, they already know where AquaEye is deployed. They know what data is coming in. They know the areas that haven't been searched. This has product market fit and so much more potential to grow. Whereas our first product, it was just simpler. I mean, it's where we started. It was my first child. And now I'm on to number 4.
Thanks, Carla.
Thank you.
Great job. All right. So that brings us to the end of the presentations for this evening. So thank you all for your attention, and thank you to all of the presenters for the wonderful presentations today. We don't have an event next month, so our next event is on September 10th. It is at Manning Elliott. Make sure to put that in your calendars. So this is the second week of September rather than the first. We know the first can be a little bit hectic. But we've got some fantastic bites from Bottles and Bottega set out, and some refreshments. So stick around. We'll be chatting with the companies, networking for the next hour. And thank you all for coming.